Dave, can you call the roll, please?
For alternate Commissioner Scott. Alternate Commissioner Fode.
Here.
Alternate Commissioner Caird.
Here.
Alternate Commissioner Bougie.
Here.
Commissioner Aguirre. Commissioner Locks.
Here.
Commissioner Coles. Commissioner Goodrich.
Here.
Commissioner Britton. Vice Chair Chaplinsky.
Here.
And Chair Walowski.
Walowski's here. I'm going to seat Commissioner Fode and Commissioner Bougie, excuse me. With that, we have a quorum. Can we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would please remain standing for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Please be seated. I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes of June 2nd, 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from June 2nd of 2026.
Commissioner Chaplinsky with a motion. A second, please.
Second.
Commissioner Locks with a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Any commissioner reports or discussions? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move to the next part, chair's comments. I'm looking around, I see none. Internally, I'm looking internally. Don't see any.
Self-assessment.
Okay, we're going to move on to public hearing. This is A, proposed zone text amendment for revisions to the Quick Start Guide legend sections 1B, 1C, 1E, 2A, 2B, 2E, 4D, 4G, 4H, 4I, 5B, 5D, 5J, 6B, 8C, and 10D of the zoning regulations concerning a comprehensive regulation update reflecting changes to all business districts to ensure mandated statutory compliance with state statute PA 25-1 concerning housing growth. This is ZA number 622. Dave, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, as you mentioned, it is mandated, these zone changes. And anytime you change your zoning regulations, you have to reach out to the Council of Governments. We did hear back from South Central Regional and Naugatuck Valley. Both said that the regulations as written, as drafted, were not in conflict with the regional plan. So that's good. And I'll summarize it. I did do a memo for everyone that I sent out, but this further summarizes a bit. So as of July 1st, 2026, municipalities are required to allow for the development of transit, community, middle housing, and mixed-use development on any lot that's zoned for commercial or mixed-use development. Those developments are subject only to summary review. And essentially, summary review is a site plan that does not require a public hearing, a variance, or a special permit or special exception. They still have to take into consideration lot size, building frontage, and setbacks. Essentially, you probably will see some development above existing plazas with the space that can't be rented. They'll probably put some units in there. 1, 2 bedrooms, maybe studios. So we do still have some control over that. The only way you can't let it go forward is if there are public health and safety concerns that will be substantially impacted. That's where you have the teeth. And to define the transit community middle housing, they're residential buildings that contain 2 to 9 units, include townhouses, duplexes, triplexes, perfect sixes, and cottage clusters. So that's basically what you'd see aesthetically. And a mixed-use development, obviously, is a development that contains both residential and non-residential uses in any single building. Now, with regard to parking for those developments, if you have 16 or fewer units, you can't regulate the parking. But if there are more than 16 proposed, it is a ratio of 1 space per studio in 1 bedroom and 2 per 2 bedrooms, unless a parking needs assessment done by a professional traffic engineer says fewer are needed, and that's based upon 4 points. essentially the public and private parking for residents, if it's available, they can take that into consideration. If there's public transportation options that may be used, we don't have too much of that. Projected future off-street parking needs, which is a little tough to do because we don't know how much development we'll get. And any relevant local parking or safety studies. So they have to do the work. It's on them to prove that they don't need that ratio. So along with this House bill, you could allow for middle housing on any lot that's zoned for residential use, but we've already opted out of that. So you can't have 2 units on one lot. Section 18 of the bill eliminated the 22-foot width for mobile manufactured homes. Essentially now it's just treated as a normal house. There's no minimum as long as building standards are met. There's a fair rent commission that you can tie into regional fair rent commission. That's due by 2028, but I'll have more on that in the future, as well as the housing growth plans. There's targets for that the COGS will come up with. I'll work with them. It's by June 1st, 2027. So there's an established goal for each municipality on pretty much how many housing units are slated to be available. And that's based on current transportation projects, availability of developable land, gets into the grand list per capita, higher median income. So I'll inform you once we get further along with that. We have monthly meetings on it because it does get involved, but we have a year on that. Something that may come up occasionally is for zone changes, the protest petitions increase the necessary amount of land or lots owned by protest petitioners from 20% of lot owners to 50%. So it lowered a threshold as well for the commission to overrule a petition from a 2/3 majority to a simple majority. Another one that was interesting was hostile architecture. So that prohibits municipalities from installing or constructing hostile architecture in or on any publicly accessible municipal building or property. So if you can picture a bench, a long bench, they'll put handles and armrests on it so someone can't lay down on them. It's essentially to, or it does discriminate against homeless people. So that cannot be done anymore. And those are the points of the changes that I made. And, you know, within the regulations, the, 350 pages of regs we have, I just kind of plugged it in, and it was vetted by the Council of Governments. I had town manager look at it as well, and our town attorney.
Okay. It's a lot, Dave.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So just as a point of clarification, we opted out on the middle housing on any lot for residential use. We've also opted out on accessory dwelling units and the parking concerns that went along with, sorry, I'm looking for it, Public Act 2129, correct?
Yes, yeah, a couple of years ago.
All right. Any questions from members of the commission? Dennis?
I had one. So you mentioned on the units over 16 units, it's 1 parking per 1 bedroom and 2 parking per 2 bedrooms.
Right.
Does that include the EV parkings and the handicap parkings?
They haven't really determined that yet. I think that it's something that we certainly look at, but it's not really restricted because you can still park in there. So I wouldn't consider it separate because people park in these. There's no like fines for parking in them.
On the handicap there is?
Yeah, handicap for sure, but that, we would rule those out. Those are always an extra. So yes, for the handicap, it's extra, but for the EV.
For the EV, it's considered?
Yeah, as part of this bill, they haven't really said it.
Okay.
But some of this will still get worked out and will absorb interpretations, but it won't change the actual language. It's just how the language is read.
Okay. Anyone else?
Thank you. Oh, yeah, I got a question. Yeah, Dave, at a very high level, would you just be able to kind of elaborate on some of the potential risks of not moving forward on this, or tabling it? Just from your high level, just very high level.
So the biggest risk of not taking action at all would be the state could take away your powers of the Planning and Zoning Commission. You essentially wouldn't have a Planning and Zoning Commission. That's what they could do.
Would it-
You're enabled to, come up with your own regulations, but when regulations are mandated by the state, you have to work those into your own regs.
Would there be implied financial risk as well to the town?
Yeah, so you wouldn't get grants likely for road work, schools. You'd be on a list you would not want to be on, I would say.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else? No? All right, seeing none, I'll open it up to members of the public. Anyone here to speak in favor of this application? Seeing none, anyone here to speak opposed to this application? Mike, please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mike Riccio, 124 Andrew Street here in Southington. Thanks for having this public hearing. I'm going to be a little bit over the top here, so put your seatbelts on. I don't even know where to start. I just heard about this last night and I didn't have time to prepare, but I'd put us at the top of that list of offenders in the state of Connecticut. I wouldn't adopt one of these things. We have spent years in this town, and I'm not talking about Southington, but all towns. We spent years in our town creating a beautiful place to live, a beautiful place for businesses. We've worked with our professionals. Mr. Bavino's been here as long as I can remember, willing to work with the community. Recently, this commission worked with Sev and other people to realize that we had adaptive reuse issues up on Queen Street and some of our corridors with those second floor, and we recognize that. And so as a community, we came up with a solution to fix that. Now, we have the state of Connecticut jumping on the bandwagon. I brought the report here, I don't have it. I'm on the board of directors of the Home Builders Association, which some people might think I'm crazy speaking against building, but what's happening here in the state of Connecticut is we just jump on this bandwagon of, no disrespect to anybody, but far left stuff about we have to create all this kind of housing. Southington has one of the most diverse housing stocks in the state of Connecticut. We have mobile homes, we have multifamily homes, we have single homes of starter quality, all the way up to mansions. We have everything and everything in between, apartment buildings and everything. And the state of Connecticut's gonna come in and tell us how our town needs to look. They are not gonna be happy. The people that are driving this will not be happy until every town in the state of Connecticut looks like Waterbury. And I've never actually called out Waterbury, but Waterbury is an example of corrupt, disgusting politics. If you drive through that city, you have a single family house next to a gas station, next to an apartment building, next to a shopping mall. Like it's corruption at its best. And that's exactly what's going on here in the state of Connecticut, forcing this on our communities. And somebody, somewhere along the way, needs to stand up. Now, our state rep, Chris Poulos, will tell you he voted against it because he was counting votes, right? He knew they didn't need him, so he voted against it. Was he standing on the roof of the Capitol screaming to stop this nonsense? No. No, he wasn't. If he feels that strongly about it, he should be here tonight. And if he feels that strongly about it, he should stand in a bipartisan effort with the Republicans in Southington who voted against this nonsense and scream with them and demand that the state legislature and the governor repeal this BS. Like, that's what this is, guys. And if it means that Southington needs to stand up and be the first one in the state of Connecticut to call BS on this nonsense, then so be it. And I know you guys aren't in an easy position here. Like, you feel like your hands are tied, and you should. But if I were sitting in your seat, I'd shut it right down. And I know it's not fair to Dave either, because Dave's in a tough spot. But we can't do this. I have a national housing report. I went to a symposium put on by the Home Builders Association. It shows the housing trends are going down. Birth rates are going way down. As the baby boomers age out and pass away, and it's a horrible thing to talk about, but the demand for housing is going to drop off of a cliff. And this country is going to be stuck with housing that we won't know what to do with because of stupid things like this. And somebody needs to stand up and talk about it. And I'm surprised the room's not packed. You know why it's not packed? Because people don't know. Wait till they, look at what happened in Simsbury. Wait till they start building this crap. We spent years and years and millions of taxpayer dollars downtown Southington to attract businesses and building owners to come in and buy these buildings and rehab them. And now what are we gonna get? And I didn't read every bit of it, Dave, but is there a possibility we're gonna have residential on the first floor of our retail district? Sounds like it to me. I mean, come on. That's not success. That's not a good community. We built this community. Cheshire built their community. Simsbury built their community. Let the people drive it, not some bureaucrats in Hartford who don't give a shit. It's disgusting. And they won't be happy until every town looks like a city. And we're not a city. If you go around this town and you interview people and you say, were you born here? Did you move here? Most people are gonna say they moved here. Why? Because we didn't want to live in where we came from. Because Southington built a beautiful town. And we had the foresight, thank God, this commission, the town council, the board of finance, to buy land and preserve it, whether it's development rights or thank God that we did that. You know, the next thing's gonna come about, the state's gonna mandate, turn over all your land, all your open space, we're gonna build on it. And for what? Because they're not up there reading the actual facts of where our population is going in this country. They're reacting to the nonsense over the last few. You can't have unfettered immigration and then say, oh, we have a housing crisis. It just doesn't work that way. So certain people made a mess out of immigration. And now certain people are saying, well, here's how we're gonna fix it and we're gonna shove this down your throats. So I think you guys got my point. Apologize to anybody if I was offensive or disrespectful in any way, but as you can see, I'm pretty passionate about it. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mike.
Anyone else?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and members of the commission. Thank you, Mike, as well. Sorry. My name is Tim Wilk, resident at 144 Scenic Drive and candidate for state representative in the 81st District. Tonight, I couldn't resist the urge, as tired and as busy as I was, to come out and speak up and out against this bill. It seems our local government, or rather our state government, is at it again, trying to ram things down our throat, refusing to leave the power, excuse me again, locally and in the hands of local people where it belongs. Instituting a play or pay strategy, if you will, as Dave said himself. There are consequences if we don't play by the rules and don't play along. Imagine this bill creates other ripple effects as well, such as traffic surveys and that additional expense, administrative burdens locally, compounding our budget issues. And pardon me, but as far as I can tell, the Democrats are the one driving this. I did some quick homework, and as far as I could tell, Southington is at about 5.5% affordable housing. So rather, instead of trying to help our local community to meet that recommended 10% standard, they'd rather implement their own strategy and force feed it to us. And by the way, it all happens to seem a bit ironic to me. Here we are in the 250th anniversary of our independence. I think we can all agree a pretty significant moment in our history. How many thousands of people died for that cause, and can only imagine what they'd be saying now. In fact, that Declaration of Independence says something to the effect of, the primary purpose of government is to protect the inherent natural rights of the people and that his power is only legitimate if the citizens consent to be governed. And as I said, I can only imagine what they'd be saying now.
Thanks, Tim. Anyone else? All right. All right, with that, I'm going to close the public hearing. And I guess we'll be looking to move into the business meeting. Item 10A, proposed text amendment for revisions to Quick Start Guide Legend, sections 1B, 1C, 1E, 2A, 2B, 2E, 4D, 4G, 4H, 4I, 5B, 5D, 5J, 6B, 8C, and 10D. The zoning regulations concerning a comprehensive regulation update reflecting changes to all the business districts to ensure mandated statutory compliance with state statute PA 25-1 concerning housing growth, ZA 622. I'm looking for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve item ZA 622.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Call the roll, Dave?
Sure. Commissioner Locke,
Yes.
Commissioner Goodrich,
No.
Commissioner Bougie,
No.
Commissioner Fode,
Yes.
Commissioner Chaplinsky, Vice Chair Chaplinsky.
No.
And Chair Woloski.
Before I cast my vote, I'm going to state for the record, I'm very happy that this commission is typically nonpartisan. Unfortunately, this is not one of those times. Hartford Democrats, which include bill sponsors Looney from New Haven, Ritter from Hartford, Rojas from East Hartford, and Duff from Norwalk. What do they know about Southington and our residents in this community? Southington zoning should be controlled by Southington Republicans and Southington Democrats, period. This bill does a disservice to the residents of Southington. It takes away a neighbor's right to a public hearing to express opposition or support to a particular application. It limits our ability as a commission to deny an application with the exception of health and safety reasons, much like that of an 830G, which we all know is like a noose around our neck. This encourages unchecked development. This is being touted as an affordability bill, yet there is no affordability component to this bill. We are mandated 10% affordable housing as a community, yet there is 0% required within this bill. If and when these units go in, how can we possibly increase our affordability number if the number of these units count? Step one was Public Act 2129, ADUs. We opted out. It was also responsible for unlimited parking in certain areas downtown. We opted out. Now this, so what is next? I call on our state legislators in the majority party, Poulos and Martinez, to work with Senator Sampson and Representatives Manfro, Francesco, and Veach, and get working on a credit for our plentiful, naturally occurring affordable housing stock. I have never disagreed with an application more, not because of its content, because it was forced on us. Hartford Democrats should not dictate what Southington should or should not develop. As the chair, I will reluctantly cast an affirmative vote so this will pass as mandated. I do not want to subject Southington and its citizens to any unnecessary litigation or potential stonewalling of funds to the town. Motion carries 4-3. with that, we move to item B, Cody Range 2.0 LLC site modification plan to install additional row of new potholes, new poles and nets to
Can I get clarification on that, Mr. Chairman? I had 3-3,
3-3.
you know. I can redo the vote, redo the roll call. You know.
It can't be, excuse me, there's 7 of us, so.
Yeah, I don't know what I have here.
Okay.
I had Locks, affirmative, Goodrich, no, Bougie, no, Fode, yes. Vice Chair Chaplinsky was a
No.
no. And you were a yes?
Yeah.
Chair was a yes?
Correct. Should be 4-3.
4 to 3, yes.
Cat?
Zap today.
Yeah, she wasn't seated.
We have 7 votes on it.
That was a procedural issue on my, I should have seated her. I didn't see, oh my gosh, Cat, I didn't seat you.
It's, you didn't know. It's chair's discretion who gets sat, so I
Right.
didn't question it.
Yeah, it's up to her. All right, it's up to you. Who am I missing?
I think you have to seat her first before she votes.
Yeah, it's a tie as it stands.
But we have 7 votes?
6 are seated.
6
Oh.
or 6, we did.
Yeah, it's the chair's discretion.
Can we back?
I would seat Commissioner Caird.
Do we have to make a motion?
Do we, Dave, is that?
No, it's your discretion. So she was involved, she heard
Yeah.
during the public hearing. Now if she's seated, she can have a voice.
How do you vote, Cat?
Okay. Can I just make one comment first? Looking through the regulations that are going to change, they are very specific to number of units. I do not see significant changes to our overall regulations because of this change. Because of that, my vote is yes.
Okay, so it does pass. 4-3.
I apologize to everyone for that oversight. Item B, Cody Range 2.0 LLC site modification to install additional row of 8 new poles and netting to prevent driven balls, golf balls from leaving the property. New poles will be anchored to existing poles and ground. Property located at 125 Jude Lane. This is Zone I-1. This is SPR 1918.
Excuse me, do I need a password to
It's on the bottom left.
browse as guest?
Yep. That's okay.
Good evening, my name is Todd Clark, Clark Land Surveying, 126 Tungus Road, Bristol, Connecticut, representing Cody Golf Range 2.0 LLC. I've been hired to draw plans for a new set of poles and netting to prevent balls from striking cars in the Lowe's parking lot. Lowe's patience has run out, so we're kind of at a crunch point where we need to do something. And Chris has hired a company out of New Jersey to set poles, and they've determined that they have to be 100 feet out of the ground, which is probably another 35 feet taller than these existing poles. So we've got to come before you to set those poles. There's going to be 8 new poles. They're 115 feet long. They're wooden poles. Will be set 15 feet into the ground. No lights on top, no lights at all. We've had a couple of comments from the planning department asking about staging areas. The poles will stay on the trailers. They'll probably come in 2 trailers, and the site will be totally prepared. Along the existing poles, it's going to be hard to see, but at the edge of the range, we're going to be about 20 feet behind those existing poles. There's already a gravel drive behind those poles. Chris has contractors set up to ensure that the existing drive is sturdy enough. We may bring in a little gravel, probably not as it stands right now. But engineering department was a little concerned about the length of the anti-tracking pad. Again, I got from the Lowe's parking lot right to the property line as your typical construction anti-tracking pad at a minimum. Now if it happens to rain before the trucks come, they're going to have to extend that all the way to the existing gravel drive. Obviously, we can't have any dirt or mud going onto the Lowe's parking lot. As far as staging areas, like I said, the poles will remain on the truck. Netting and anchor cables and whatnot can stay on other property of Chris. He's got an expansive, Chris Cody, he's got an extensive parking lot that doesn't get used a lot. So the netting and the anchor materials can stay there until such time that we can put them on the poles. Like I said, the poles will be delivered 2 trucks. I don't recall the name of the company the poles come from, but it was a Weyerhaeuser subsidiary, I believe. And I'm very happy to learn that they're working with a Lowe's company. They have to obviously figure out how to get a 115-foot pole to the site, and that's obviously will be taken care of before they even ship the poles. Other concerns from the engineering department were, are we going to hit ledge? Chris had talked to the previous owner who set the existing poles. They did not hit ledge, but we did hire a boring company, Welty, out of Glastonbury, and they will be on site tomorrow to drill holes, so we'll know exactly what we're dealing with. These poles are 24 to 30 inches in diameter at the base. So if there is rock, we will have to hire a rock driller to have those holes prepared before the poles even get here. Another comment from the engineering department, they wanted to see details for the anchor. The pole and netting supplier has an engineer backed up a little bit. We don't have the answers at this point, but obviously they're going to develop anchors that suit the project. They can't fail. Their reputation is on the line, of course. So we do expect to have that information within the next couple of weeks for the engineering department. We don't have it now. Any other questions from the commission?
That concludes your
Yes. Sorry.
presentation?
Yes.
At this point, does any commissioners have any questions? The length of the poles, would these, say, be consistent with like a Topgolf?
They're The design company, Chris has been through 2 or 3 different firms before he settled on this. He believes it's the best company in the country, and they do major, I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but he says they're top line. It's a $350,000 project just to keep balls from going off the yard, so
Right.
he's not messing around.
All right. Engineering, you're satisfied with?
Yeah, with the comments as, you know, stated to this point, understanding that obviously the more finer details that were questioned are reasonable to follow behind, you know, can just deal with that in the, deal with that in the zoning permit phase. So, I mean, everything he's saying so far sounds reasonable.
Do we need any stipulations in an approval?
I would recommend it, Mr. Chairman, just that, sure, that's a step that their poles are anchored to engineering department's satisfaction.
All right. And then you mentioned the track pad. Like, were you planning on basically winging it if it wasn't raining?
No, they have, I'll jump, they have something that's specified, it was like 30 feet, I think, long or something like that. It's just a little short for what we usually specify for, like on a road. But, I mean, it's not really, for my concern, I mean, that sounds good to me. If they plan to
You're
keep it up
satisfied?
really good and they're gonna maybe extend it prior to the rain, quite frankly, it's private property and it's not really
Okay.
concerned.
Just making sure
Yeah,
everybody's,
yeah.
making sure everybody's happy.
Yep.
All right. Is anyone here to speak on behalf of this application in favor? No. Anyone opposed? No. All right, at this point, I'm looking for a motion to approve. I lost my paper. I'm looking for a motion to approve SPR number 1918.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Just a point of reference here for the way the vote has to go in terms of waiving the pole height. If you recall, there was a memo that I sent out that just said that if the structures don't exceed a height of 175 feet, it's okay, as long as you, by a 2/3 affirmative vote, allow the height that it won't hit the adjacent property if they fall over. So that's why it was important that they're anchored properly. So you could vote to say we waive that distance to the property line because they're going to be anchored. So there would be 2 votes, one to waive it by a majority, which would be 5. And then the second would be for approval.
Okay. So, just to be certain, Kat is still seated? Okay, thank you. All right, so I guess I'm looking for a motion to waive the height requirement.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to waive the requirement that poles do not hit the adjacent property if they fall over.
Second?
All right, Commissioner Locke,
Yes.
Commissioner Goodrich,
Yes.
Commissioner Bougie,
Yes.
Commissioner Fode,
Yes.
Vice Chair Chaplinsky.
Yes.
And Chair Walowski.
Walowski's a yes, motion carries. Okay, now I'm looking for a motion. Kat.
Oh, and
Poor
Commissioner
Kat.
Carey.
Yes.
Two times is a trend.
I'm gonna highlight you so I don't forget. I got you right here.
Highlighted now.
Okay.
Okay, motion carries 7-0. Now, I'm looking for a motion to approve SPR number 1918 with a stipulation on the engineering requirements.
I'll make a motion to approve SPR 1918 with the stipulations that the applicant satisfies the engineering department's requested information.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second?
Second?
All right, Commissioner Locke,
Yes.
Commissioner Goodrich,
Yes.
Commissioner Bougie,
Yes.
Commissioner Carey,
Yes.
Commissioner Fode,
Yes.
Vice Chair Chaplinsky.
Yes.
And Chair Walowski.
Walowski's a yes, motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. Park my car over there again.
Okay, Administrative items, Dave?
I don't have any, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, seeing none, receipt of new applications and item to schedule for public hearing.
Yes, for July 21st, we have Lovely Development for a petition to change the zoning district boundary from R 2025 zone to the ARCH-Z, age-restricted cluster housing. Property is located at 310 Buckland Street.
Okay. Dave, could you contact Attorney Marino and see if he can attend that meeting for us?
Sure.
All right, thank you. Looking for a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, we've got a motion, a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Thanks for everyone.